Hi, Michael and Middleton here. A little blurry because I'm recovering from a head cold, but I wanted to share a small section today. I may have shared a part of this previously, but a section out of Learning Grace, Finding God in Failure, section called The Price of Admission. I hear a lot from people, everybody hears, don't judge me, uh, or, I don't need God, I do it on my own. They don't understand what's being offered. Uh, I just want to put it out there that, God is the creator of everything good, and He wants to share everything with those He created. But He won't force anything on you. It's a relationship. That's really what heaven, eternity boils down to, is relationship. And that has to be chosen. But He will not, because it's relationship, it cannot be forced. God is offering you, every individual, literally everything. But if you want nothing to do with God, that is what you will end up with: separation, nothing. That's pretty much simply what it boils down to. I cover that in a little more detailed manner in this book, but I wanted to share this little section here, The Price of Admission. In his poem, The Road Not Taken, published in Mountain Interval 1916, Robert Frost describes coming to a place where two roads diverged in a wooded meadow. There he stood for an extended period, contemplating which path to take. After a protracted consideration, he concluded with, "I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." Each of us, whether or not we view it as clearly as Robert Frost through the poetic eye, find ourselves at this same divergence of roads. If we accept the premise that it is indeed the narrow, difficult way which leads to life, the one less traveled by, then it is clear that what our choice should be. And yet, taking those first feeble steps into the glorious divergence eludes the vast majority of mankind. If the road to life is what God truly desires for everyone, why is it so difficult to begin one's journey upon? Would it surprise you to find out that there's a toll gate at the head of that road? That other road, the broad, easy one, doesn't seem to have one. Not as far ahead as you can see, anyway. True, it's rumored that there is some sort of a price to be paid at the end of the broad, easy way, but you figure that's something to be worried about later on, when it's too late. But here and now, right up front, there's a toll gate at the very head of that narrow way. You step forward to examine the price of admission. Perfect moral behavior in thought, word, and deed. A selfless life given fully and sacrificially in service to others. Total, complete, unwavering obedience to the law of love. The list continues on, but by now it's clear that no further detail really matters. This is already well out of your price range. There's no way you could scrape together even a small part of that. A mixture of sorrow, anger, and confusion washes over you as you stand there thinking God is unjust. You try to find a way to pick the lock or force the gate open, but it's no use. It doesn't budge. As you pace away, muttering indignantly, you see another traveler approach the gate. You recognize the man at once. It's that bully from 4th grade who beat you up and stole your lunch money at least twice a week. From there, he progressed to stealing bicycles, and from there to grand theft auto. He served time for drunk driving and for killing a man in a bar fight. He's now known as a mid-level drug dealer and runs a small prostitution ring. An acidic, mocking chuckle rises up within you as you mutter, "Yeah, good luck with that, pal." An odd sort of look seems to be growing upon the man's face, however. As you stand there amazed, he drops his head slightly, and the gate swings wide open before him. He enters joyfully, and the gate swings securely shut once more. Turning to face you fully now, he recognizes you. A weird sort of light covers him, and a childlike peace shines out from his eyes. There is a brief flash of regret as he recalls how he had once treated you earlier in life. This quickly fades into a knowing plea of expectancy as he meets your burning gaze. Friend, read on. There is more to know. He motions to the sign on the gate and bids you to investigate further. Though still clutching a prideful resentment tight to your chest, you decide to take another look. There at the bottom of list of requirements for entry, you read, "Paid in full by the builder." You then note a long string of Bible verses. Several among these particularly draw your eye. Isaiah 53:5. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. John 3:16 and 17. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. 2 Corinthians 5:21. For he made him who knew no sin to be sin for us, that we might become the righteousness of God in him. A sliver of understanding is just beginning to dawn within you, and you read on. Psalm 34:18. The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart, and saves such as have a contrite spirit. Psalm 51:17. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. These, O God, you will not despise. Proverbs 28:13. He who hides his sin will not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them will have mercy. So there it is. It seems as far as your part is concerned, the price of admission is simply the admission of your need. And this, my friend, is where so many stumble. They refuse to enter by this narrow gate. They do not want to admit their need. The sin nature is born of selfish pride. It both feeds upon and nourishes that pride. Its chief aim is to enthrone self and to exalt one's self-effort. To openly acknowledge need that you are not complete in yourself is quite opposite to this. Far too many walk away from the very gate to eternal life simply because they don't want to cope with the fact that they couldn't earn it. As we have already discussed thoroughly, sin is centered in self. There is no self-effort which can rescue us from self. If eternal life is to be received, it must be received as a gift. There are at least 3 easily identifiable reasons why this logically has to be the case. 1. Consider the value of what is being offered. Eternal life in a perfect body with all of the pleasures and joys of creation to explore, with no need or desire ever unmet, forever. Everything. Question. If it were possible to pay your way into paradise, what could you offer to equal this value? There is no sum imaginable which would not be a joke or an insult. It would be exceedingly more feasible to offer a rusty bottle cap in exchange for the Hope Diamond. Number 2. Everything that you do have, anything that you could offer, you only have because it was first given to you by God. It's already rightfully His. Number 3. God's design for eternal life is to enable you to reestablish the life-giving relationship with Him. He is the very source. God is light and life. The self-nature is darkness and isolation. Self-effort is rooted in pride and by its very nature leads to separation and death, not life and joy. Interrupt briefly here. To put this succinctly, it's about relationship, not religion. To sum this up, a free gift cannot be bought. The price has already been paid by the one offering the gift. Now let us see if we can further illustrate the point by painting a more contemporary picture. Imagine for a moment that you're in desperate need of a new car. The one you had has breathed its last. It has fully and irredeemably ceased to function. You invested every penny you had trying to keep it running, but to no avail. It's gone to the great beyond of the local automotive boneyard. What's worse is that you live in a very remote part of the country and have absolutely no way to get to a job to earn money to buy another vehicle. You also have no way to get to a grocery store or money to spend if you could, and the cupboards are bare. That half bottle of ketchup that's left in the refrigerator isn't going to keep you going for very long. As you ration out a teaspoon of last resort, there's a knock at the door. Cautious as to who could be showing up clear out here, you close the refrigerator and pace over to investigate. You open the front door to find Bob Johnson standing there with a big smile spread all across his face. Bob owns one of the biggest car lots in the state. He explains that an anonymous benefactor has heard about your predicament and has prepaid for you to come down and pick out any vehicle you'd like from his car lot. All you need to do is come along with him and receive this free gift. The donor has even made arrangements to pay for all regular maintenance of whatever vehicle you pick out. You politely thank Bob for his kind thoughts, but inform him that you don't have the money to pay for a new car. I understand that, he replies. You don't need to pay anything. It's all paid for already. All you need to do is come with me and pick it up. No, that's okay. I'll get by on my own, you say as you step back and begin to close the door. Stupid salesman, you mutter to yourself. But you don't understand. It's already paid for. You don't need... A bit of prideful anger now noticeable in your voice, you cut him off with, I told you I don't need your help, as the door closes abruptly in Bob's face, leaving him standing there in bewilderment. Do you see now just how foolish this attitude is? Is it any wonder that Jesus spoke so highly of children? Children know how to receive freely. Children harbor no qualms about receiving a free gift. It's only as we grow older, more jaded and weighted down with guilt and pride, that we lose the ability to receive freely with an open heart. But it is only those who are able to receive freely who are also able to give freely with no strings attached. Those able to receive by grace are also able to give in grace. God desires a heart relationship which gives and receives freely out of love, not a contractual commitment of debt and guilt. Every religion in the world, in one form or another, teaches that you must do right in order to be right. You must do whatever particular good works their religion prescribes in order to be right with whatever particular concept of deity they hold. Every false religion the world can offer, at its core, speaks the same lie spoken in Eden. It's about self-effort, and only leads to further isolation. Only Christianity has the order correct. The true teaching of the Bible is that you be right in order to do right. You must come to God just exactly as you are. He's already paid the full price in order to restore this relationship, but you must choose it. Relationship can be no other way. Then, as you remain in Him, as you remain in relationship, you are transformed. He, living in unison with your spirit, works to renew your heart each day. You become right through the restored relationship. Good works are the result of the restored relationship with God, not the cause. The only good works that make that relationship possible to begin with are the ones He accomplished in giving Himself for you on the cross. So I will pause there. Just want to reinforce that image of, I hear a lot of people say, I don't need God, I can make it on my own. They're missing the point of what making it is. Eternal life boils down to restored relationship. If you're trying to make it on your own or think that you could make it on your own, you've already missed it. Because on your own is separation. On your own, anything is cutting yourself off from everything. So I hope you get the book. I may read through the whole book at this point, but this really is a book in particular. That's just one little introductory sampling that you really need. It's not a giant book, but there's a lot of really thick concepts in it that take a lot of chewing to understand some of the deeper things about God. So I'll leave you with that. I hope you're blessed, and I'll see you when I get back on here again.